Hey guys, welcome back to the kitchen. Move this out of the way. I just came back from my favorite farmer's market, and this big old bushel box is pickling cucumbers. But first I need to go through my ball preserving book and decide exactly what pickles I want to make this year. I know bread and butter are on the list. Last year I made several different varieties of like dill pickles. So I want to just pick out a couple of recipes and take you guys along with the day of canning a bushel of pickles. Didn't even do a riddle there, or whatever you call them, tongue twister. So we'll see if we can't pack a bunch of pickles in a bunch of pint jars. So we're going to be taking a look at the fresh pack or quick process pickles because I like easy. Dill sandwich slices. That sounds yummy. Bread and butter. Cucumber sandwich pickles. That sounds good. Oh, guys. I don't know if you grow radishes, but Dan made this for us when she was here. It's called Vietnamese carrot and daikon pickles. That is really, really good. I just don't have any daikon. So if you do, and you're growing that, try this recipe. You'll really like it. Okay, so I think we'll do cucumber sandwich pickles, dill, and traditional bread and butter. Okay, I think I'm at a place to start. I need to rinse these pickles. They're pretty well washed. They're not dirty at all, the pickles, all these cucumbers. I've got a vinegar wash going on in the sink. And behind me, I have 2 bowls. I've decided I tested using the KitchenAid slicer attachment versus my mandolin. The mandolin definitely does a much better job. Using that KitchenAid, I was getting like little chunks and stuff. So I'm going to use my mandolin, and I finally figured this tool out, so I'll show you what I learned. And I've got all my ingredients prepped. So I got all my spices out, garlic, dill, onions. So I think I'm ready to go. So let's get to slicing, and then we'll get to jarring. The jars are in the dishwasher doing their sanitizing. I'm going to get everything jarred up, and then we're going to start on the brines. Got it? See you back in a bit. Okay, so first let me tell you what I learned about using my mandolin properly. This is the mandolin from Pampered Chef. And last time I was using it, I was just trying to go like this. Wrong, Rachel. This slides on here. I had never been to a party for anybody to teach that to me. And then what I found practicing is, I guess first I should share this tip with you. So this is the blossom end. Take at least 1/8 of an inch off your blossom end. And then I'm going to stick the stem end in one of these little tongs, and I'm going to do that on all 4 tongs as long as I can fit them. And you can slice a whole bunch of cucumbers at once. Something about taking off at least 1/8 of an inch off that blossom end helps your pickles stay crispier. I don't know if it's a wives' tale or if it's true, but I do it. And my pickles stay crispy, but I also use Pickle Crisp. I'll just show you. You get nice slices of pickles. Very good. So it's probably not as fast as using my KitchenAid, but I definitely get cleaner slices. And I prefer that. I don't mind if it takes a little longer. I am done finally slicing up the cucumbers for what I want to do today. This is only half of them. I'm not going to get them all done today. I just don't want to. So I'm sorry if I got your hopes up that we were going to do 2 batches of pickles. Today we're just going to do the dills, and stay tuned. Tomorrow I'll get right back at it and I'll bring you the bread and butter pickles. So right behind you is my stovetop, and we need to get making the brine. I think I've got like 10 minutes left on my jars that are washing. So let's turn around and head over here. All right, I'm doing 4 times the recipe, and I'm mixing it up just a little bit in that I am doing it. The recipe just calls for cider vinegar, but I'm gonna do half and half cider vinegar and white vinegar, just so I can stretch my cider vinegar through the rest of the canning season, because that's the last big jug I have. So we're gonna do 4 cups. Already have 8 cups of water in here. We'll do 4 cups of white vinegar. I probably am not going to need all this, but I'll be able to adapt and adjust this brine for pickles tomorrow. Okay, now 1.5 cups of sugar to each pot. 1 cup of canning salt to each pot. Then we need 6 tablespoons of pickling spice. And I was all out, so there is a recipe in the ball book for you to make your own, and that's what I did. So you can make your own too. I'm actually going to be a little light on the pickling spice, but that's okay. Alrighty, we're going to bring this up to a boil, get everything dissolved, and let this pickling spice steep. And my jars just got done, so we're about to head over now behind me and get those jars packed. And there's a little bit of other ingredients we'll put in with our cucumber slices. Alrighty, I've got my pickle packer. I have dill and garlic and mustard seed. There's like no way to sweep that up and not sweep up dirt.
A lot of feeling on my feet.
Yeah. So guys, I just spilled an entire jar of mustard seed. And I had such a hard time finding mustard seed. I special ordered it, and it came in these small tiny jars. And I'm lucky if I have enough now to do 10 pints. Well, okay, if you were going to do this for real, don't spill your mustard seed so you have enough. So there should be 2.5 teaspoons of mustard seed in all of these jars. Ah! Thankfully, there is mustard seed in my spice pouches, but it's probably not going to be quite enough for what a dill recipe would need. But the next thing you're going to do is add garlic to each one of your, or not garlic, but a dill head to each one of your jars. And I've got a little tip to share. If you're running shy on dill, which I was, you can use the dill stems too. So I cut up the stems, and we'll be adding stems pieces to the jars too, just to make it go far. He's gonna vacuum up my dill seeds.
What else you gonna do with them?
Aww. So sad, so sad.
I'm gonna turn you guys off for a minute so I can vacuum.
They're like all over the rug everywhere.
Okay.
Well, there's no point in getting upset over it. What's done is done. So we're just, I went, while Todd was vacuuming and got the dill the garlic cloves added to each one of the jars. So, now you want to, when you're making pickles, you want to really pack them. And we're going to a 1/2 inch of headspace. There's no point in that. Don't bother with a funnel. The brine is done boiling. It steeped for about 15 minutes after it came to a boil. And now I'm going to let it sit and cool way off, just to where it's warmish, lukewarm. I don't want to cook my cucumbers when I pour it on there. That's just one more step you can take to try to stop mushy cucumbers. So let me show you my jars real quick. Excuse my mess. But the jars are filled, and now the last thing that I have to do is put 1/8 teaspoon of pickle crisp in each jar. I'll wait to do that till just before I add the brine. But I ended up having a gallon bag, Ziploc bag of cucumbers that didn't fit in these jars. So if this brine stretches to fill all these, and I have a little bit more, I'll start pulling out extra jars and filling them. And they'll just be a plain pickle with brine as it's flavored, with no additional seasonings. So, probably see you guys back after dinner sometime, and when we get to fill in the jars, and we'll see how we go. We're gonna have a lot of pickles on the shelves. I tell you what, you guys will think this is a lot of pickles, but we use a lot of pickles. And I have children and a sister-in-law that love pickles, so I usually gift like a case at a time away. So we'll go through them very fast. We are ready to get our pickles ladled up with our brine. So we're going to add 1/8 teaspoon, like I mentioned, of pickle crisp to each jar. And if you struggle with, like if you use the Mrs. Wages pickle mix, I know that's how I started making pickles, and I still got soft pickles, and it says it has pickle crisp in it. I would go ahead and recommend just going ahead and adding pickle crisp if you're struggling keeping your pickles crispy.
Doing things outdoors today. And even though we're using our pressure canner, These are getting water bath canned. So room for 4 more. I consulted with Rachel in the house for the time of water bath, and she said 15 minutes. So once they're all in here, we'll crank up the heat. Once it comes to a boil, set your timer for 15 minutes. Once it's done, shut them off.
All right, I've got this canner double stacked, this canner single stacked, a canner inside completely full. So I am done for tonight. I'll end it right here with a clip of how beautiful these pickles are. Thanks guys for coming along. Stay tuned for the bread and butter, and I think I'm gonna do some spicy. So I'll see you guys on the next pickle video.